In the top stories, Prime Minister Drew challenges U.S. tariffs, cites $700 million in imports. Prime Minister confirms deportation of St. Kitts and Nevis national from the U.S. And 22 athletes selected to represent St. Kitts and Nevis at the 52nd CARIFTA Games. The details on these stories and more after the break.
It's something that you can't put into words. A buzz in the air. From the time you wake up, you're ready to go. The freedom, the fantasy, the fete. To know it is to live it and love it. You have to experience it. If you know, you know. Angostura White Oak Rum. New look, same vibes inside.
Keeping up with the kids' growth spurts might mean time for a bigger fridge. Don't worry, at Quartz, we've got you. Need to upgrade your home? Get new arrivals in dining. Plus, buy more and save more on bedroom sets and get an additional 10% on credit purchases of any bedroom set. Want quality products that provide value at the best prices backed by full warranty? We've got you. Plus, shop today and pay later with Quartz Ready Finance. Whatever you need, we've got you. Only at Quartz, bringing value home.
Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Major Newscast. I am Scotty Sia Hendrickson. Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, says the country has a strong case to challenge U.S. tariffs, given that imports from the United States total more than $700 million. During the April 2nd edition of his roundtable discussion with journalists, Prime Minister Drew, who is also Finance Minister, shared the latest import and export figures.
When it comes to imports from the United States of America, in 2024, we imported, and this is the number in EC dollars, $754 million, $29,809. $754 million, $29,809 that we imported from the United States of America. In terms of our exports, we only exported $23,901,046.15. $23,901,046.15. That deficit, of course, if you were to do the calculation, is almost $750 million. Almost $750 million that we have a deficit with the United States of America. In other words, the United States of America has a surplus in trade when it comes to St. Kitts and Nevis.
Dr. Drew argued that the United States benefits far more from trade with the Caribbean, especially St. Kitts and Nevis.
Calculations, and I received this from our ambassador in the United States of America in a document that she sent. We have a deficit and as a CARICOM of about $54 billion with the United States of America. That's the number that was given to me. So it clearly shows that unlike other regions which have a surplus with the United States in terms of trade, Canada, Mexico, and so forth, we have a deficit. In other words, the United States benefits much more from trading with the Caribbean region than the Caribbean region does with the United States of America. I wanted to take my time with those numbers because in your writings, I hope that these numbers would be reflected in your articles and your news items. St. Kitts and Nevis has a strong case to make when it comes to tariffs. The evidence shows that we don't deserve these tariffs that can increase the cost of living for our people.
A BBC report revealed that St. Kitts and Nevis has been hit with a 10% tariff by the United States. The move comes as part of a broader set of tariffs announced by U.S. President Donald Trump on Wednesday, aimed at boosting the U.S. economy. Imposed via executive order, these new import taxes are expected to have global economic repercussions. One person from St. Kitts and Nevis has been deported from the United States. This comes after a list began circulating on social media, claiming that 68 nationals were facing deportation. Prime Minister Honorable Dr. Terrence Drew confirmed the deportation on Wednesday during his roundtable with the media.
So as far as I know, only one, the last time I got an update was just one, was deported from the United States of America. If there's any more, I have to get an update, but that's the last update I got from the Chief of Immigration, Chief Jeffers, with respect to that.
He said the individual was deported earlier this year.
That person was deported and came back to their family, basically. So they were able to come back to their family. That's one. And secondly, the last time that I got, and they would update me each time we get somebody from the United States, and that person, I think, came back in January and February. We just had one person.
As Minister of Citizenship and Immigration, he said the government is monitoring the situation closely and working to provide assistance to returning nationals where necessary. In other local news, St. Kitts and Nevis Athletics proudly announced the selection of 22 outstanding young athletes who will represent St. Kitts and Nevis at the 52nd edition of the CARIFTA Games, set to take place in Trinidad and Tobago from April 19th to 21st, 2025. The CARIFTA Games, renowned for showcasing the region's best track and field talent, will provide these athletes with an opportunity to compete against the Caribbean's elite while flying the nation's flag high. This year's team, dubbed Team Unstoppable SKN, embodies the dedication, discipline, and determination needed to excel on the regional stage. SKN Athletics extend heartfelt congratulations to the selected athletes and expresses its unwavering support as they prepare for the prestigious competition. President Delaney commended the athletes for their hard work and commitment, encouraging them to remain focused and give their best efforts during the games. Quote, this year's 22 athletes have met the rigorous qualifying standards set by SKN Athletics, President Delaney stated. Their selection is a testament to their hard work, resilience, and passion for the sport. We encourage them to continue pushing their limits, knowing that the entire Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis stands behind them. We will have more from the SKN Athletics president on CARIFTA team in our Sportscast. After the break, Antigua and Barbuda tourism officials stopped by to talk to us about their upcoming Caribbean travel marketplace event. Upfront is next.
Are you tired of Wi-Fi dead zones in your home? The Cable has the ultimate solution with our whole home Wi-Fi coverage. Say goodbye to frustrating signal drops and hello to seamless connectivity in every corner of your home. No more,
Mom, my tablet's not working in my bedroom. My game is freezing, Daddy.
or WhatsApp calls dropping as you walk around the house. So many people struggle with dead zones and restricted Wi-Fi, and the Cable has the answer. Enjoy full blanket increased Wi-Fi coverage with installation in 48 hours or less. Whole home Wi-Fi coverage is here. Get the whole family connected today. Come in or call the Cable at 465-2588 to get your whole home Wi-Fi boost installed. The Cable, always giving you more. Terms and conditions apply.
Here are your hosts for Value Mart IGA specials.
Running April 3rd to April 16th.
Now, our Value Club Blue Tag specials. Meatless pastas are just $5.99 each. Banquet chicken nuggets and tenders just $24.99. Blue ribbon ice cream, $32.99. Essential everyday frozen vegetables, $5.99. Morningstar meatless entrees, just $20.99. Tide liquid detergent, $34.99. And now our very low weekly
Value deals! Suavitel fabric softener, $17.99. The Pearl pancake mixes, $11.99. Malt-to-meal bagged cereals, $17.99. All El Paso taco shells and tortilla shells, $9.99. The Colgate toothpaste, $6.99. Colgate toothbrush, soft and medium, $4.99. Shop smart, shop value mart. Tell them in Spanish.
Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
Healthwise on ZIZ TV, Mondays at 8:30 p.m. Hosted by Dr. Malik Lescott, Dr. Jolette Woodley, and Dr. Patrice Lawrence.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends, who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we're redefining what real connection is, by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. Flow customers claim $600 in gift cards when you add internet to your postpaid plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
Welcome back. The Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association and the Antigua and Barbuda Tourism Authority stopped by ZIZ studio on Thursday to share details about the upcoming Caribbean travel marketplace. Here is more in this Upfront.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Upfront here on ZIZ TV. I'm Devon Cornelius and thank you so much for joining us. Tonight we have representatives of the Antigua and Barbuda Tourism Authority as well as the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association. Tell us who you are and why you're here this evening.
Hi, good evening, Devon. I'm Charmaine Spencer. I'm the Director of Tourism for the Caribbean and Latin America with the Antigua and Barbuda Tourism Authority, and I'm very happy to be here in St. Kitts.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Sanobnik Destang. I am not from Antigua. I am from St. Lucia, but I represent the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association. And we're here to speak about the CHTA marketplace, which is going to be held in Antigua and Barbuda for the very first time.
So tell us more about that event, exactly when it is happening, and what do you intend to gain from the staging of this event?
So CHTA Marketplace has been held by the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association for well over 40 years. It's only the third time that we're having the Eastern Caribbean. The first time was in St. Lucia. Then we had it in Barbados, and it's coming back to the OECS now since Antigua and Barbuda is graciously hosting it for the first time. And the CHTA Marketplace is really the Caribbean's largest travel and tourism showcase, where hotels and destination management companies and attraction providers get to interact with travel providers from all over the world. We basically bring the world, everyone who sells Caribbean tourism from the US, UK, Canada, Latin America, and Europe to CHTA Marketplace. It's the largest of its kind that is wholly focused on the Caribbean. And we've been hosting it for quite some time and very happy and proud to be hosting it with Antigua and Barbuda, which of course is your neighbors here in St. Kitts. Very, very close and very easy for hoteliers here to get to.
Awesome. What does this mean for Antigua and Barbuda as the host?
Of course, we are very pleased to be a part of the CHTA Marketplace this year. For Antigua, we are quite proud. As Mr. Destang explained, it's not really held in the smaller territories in the Caribbean. Normally, it would be held in Jamaica, the Bahamas, the bigger islands. So to be hosting such a prestigious event and that size for Antigua, it's quite a feather in our cap, and we are quite pleased. Obviously, it gives us an opportunity to showcase our product, our warm hospitality, our people, our tourism product, our hotels. So we are looking forward to welcoming the persons from the bigger markets into our shores. And then because of our proximity to the neighboring islands and the rest of the OECS, we're looking forward to inviting the other members of the OECS to come and take part. Because again, we have accessibility. We are easily accessible for St. Kitts, Dominica, St. Martin, and those neighboring islands. So we were trying to encourage those persons who might not get this opportunity all the time to take part in Antigua and Barbuda and showcase their tourism product and to the wider world.
Tell us about some of these stakeholders for this upcoming event.
Correct. So, traditionally, I think people have assumed CHTA Marketplace is directed at the larger hotels and perhaps hotels who deal with tour operators and travel partners. They're an incredibly important part of the tourism landscape in the Caribbean. I mean, you can't drive here, you can't swim here. So the reality is that you need flights and you need persons who create these packages with flights to get here to the Caribbean. But it's not necessarily the only source of distribution. I've always been what I call a direct booking evangelist. I'm very focused on using digital marketing from our hotels, for our members, to get more direct bookings, because of course those come without a commission. So we love our travel partners, but this year we're also going to be hosting the very first Caribbean edition of the Direct Booking Summit. It's hosted with a large global company called Triptease, who focuses on direct bookings and digital marketing, and they've been holding this summit throughout the world, in the Americas, in Asia, in Europe, and for the very first time it's coming to the Caribbean, and Antigua and Barbuda will be hosting it on May the 22nd at the end. So that really creates closes that circle of distribution, so to speak. So if you're a smaller hotel or an Airbnb or a guest house in St. Kitts or anywhere in the Caribbean who doesn't necessarily deal with a lot of operators, there's still something there for you as part of the marketplace, which can also be purchased separately if you wish to come for the Direct Booking Summit on its own. But we, of course, prefer you to come for the entire thing because there's so much more happening. And when you speak of the stakeholders, we're also going to be introducing the very first linkages showcase at Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Marketplace. We've had miniature versions of it before, but this one is going to be on a much grander scale. We have a linkages committee, something which I started during my tenure as president. It's something I'm very passionate about because I believe that tourism should not just be about the hotels and the direct tourism service providers, but this is for companies who who are into agro-processing, who have into the entertainment, arts and crafts, etc., who have these products that are of interest to hotels. This is your chance to showcase it for them. So there are so many more stakeholders than just hotels. It's definitely a marketplace with a difference. We're also going to be having our second edition of the Responsible Tourism Day, where we're going to be encouraging suppliers and buyers and all attendees to go out into the communities and to make a difference and to showcase that tourism can make a difference. So it's really a very holistic Caribbean CHTA marketplace, probably the first of its kind, and hopefully will set the standard for marketplaces to come.
And lastly, how and where do you go to register?
So you could go to chtamarketplace.com. There are several events, including the Caribbean Travel Forum, which brings a public sector into the mix as well. And you could register if you're particular interest to your audience would be the supplier registration. That is for hotels, Airbnbs, and others who want to register. You go to the supplier registration. If you want to register for the Caribbean Travel Forum, there's also a separate link for that, as well as for the Direct Booking Summit. So chtamarketplace.com is the place to register.
Thank you so much. You have been listening to Upfront here on ZIZ TV. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay tuned for more news.
Thanks, Devon. The Charlestown Primary School, or CPS, Tigers have once again asserted their dominance on the track, securing the 6th consecutive title for the first time at the Bonnie Gulf Insurance Limited Inter-Primary School Championship. It was a nail-biting showdown. CPS battled fiercely against the Ivor Walters Primary School Mustangs, with both schools earning an impressive 16 gold medals each. However, CPS ultimately clinched the top spot with a total medal haul of 16 gold, 15 silver, and 16 bronze. Ivor Walters Primary School, despite matching CPS in gold medals, had to settle for second place with 11 silver and 16 bronze. Rounding out the top 3 was the St. Thomas's Primary School, which delivered a strong performance, securing 10 gold, 9 silver, and 8 bronze medals. The highly competitive championship, featuring 10 participating schools, was held on Wednesday, April 2nd, at the Nevis Athletic Stadium. In recognition of the significance of this event, a half-holiday was declared on Nevis, allowing residents to support the young athletes. With CPS continuing to reign supreme in the track and field for nearly 3 decades, this latest triumph adds to their storied legacy. Ivor Walters Primary School, which last won the championship in 1996, put up a valiant effort signaling their intent to challenge the long-standing champions in the future. Coming up in regional news, malaria outbreak investigated in South Trinidad, 5 cases confirmed. Stay with us.
It's the sale you've been waiting for. Happening now. Discounts galore at your favorite Hosford store. Hosford's Furniture and Appliances, Ashley's Furniture Home Store, Hosford's Building and Nevis Centers, and Hosford's Auto Parts and Accessories. Get ready for discounts galore. Store discounts, big discounts, small discounts, VAT discounts, and more. We're slashing prices with at least 4% VAT off and up to 20% off store-wide on furniture, appliances, auto parts, building materials, and hardware, and so much more. Discounts galore across all Hosford stores. And that's not all. Customer discounts and even Value Club member savings mean the deals just keep getting better. Whether you're upgrading your home, tackling your next project, or fixing your ride, Hosford has you covered. Take advantage of the discounts galore at all Hosford stores today. At Hosford's Furniture and Appliances, Ashley's Furniture Home Store, Hosford's Building and Nevis Centers, and Hosford's Auto Parts and Accessories. Hurry in! These offers won't last long. Don't miss out on the biggest savings of the year. Visit any Hosford store now and start saving with discounts galore in every store. Big deals, big savings, and more. Terms and conditions apply. Are you tired of Wi-Fi dead zones in your home? The Cable has the ultimate solution with our whole home Wi-Fi coverage. Say goodbye to frustrating signal drops and hello to seamless connectivity in every corner of your home. No more
Mom, my tablet's not working in my bedroom. My game is freezing, Daddy.
or WhatsApp calls dropping as you walk around the house. So many people struggle with dead zones and restricted Wi-Fi, and the Cable has the answer. Enjoy full blanket increased Wi-Fi coverage with installation in 48 hours or less. Whole home Wi-Fi coverage is here. Get the whole family connected today. Come in or call the Cable at 465-2588 to get your whole home Wi-Fi boost installed. The Cable, always giving you more. Terms and conditions apply.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends. So we're putting our money where your loyalty is. Flow customers claim $600 in gift cards when you add internet to your postpaid plan today.
In regional news, the Ministry of Health is investigating a recent malaria outbreak in South Trinidad with 5 confirmed cases as of April 2nd, 2025. This marks the first reported malaria cases in the country for the year. Since malaria is not endemic to Trinidad and Tobago, most cases are imported or introduced. From 2015 to 2024, the country reported 153 confirmed cases, averaging 15 annually. The 5 cases in 2025 have been clustered within a specific area, prompting immediate response measures by the Insect Vector Control Division, or IVCD. The IVCD actions include spraying homes within a 1-mile radius using ultra-low volume, or ULV techniques, thermal fogging, and applying internal residual spraying, or IRS, to eliminate mosquitoes. Officials are also inspecting homes for mosquito breeding sites and conducting contact tracing. The ministry urges high-risk individuals, such as those forested areas, farmers, and hikers, to take precautions like using mosquito nets, wearing protective clothing, and applying insect repellent. Symptoms like fever, chills, headaches, or fatigue should prompt immediate medical attention. The ministry will continue to provide updates as the situation develops. In other regional news, journalists in Haiti are increasingly targeted by gangs as violence spreads across the capital, Port-au-Prince. Jean-Jacques Asperges, a 58-year-old journalist, has been displaced twice by gang violence and now lives in a makeshift shelter. Despite losing his work equipment, he continues reporting on the situation using only his phone. Gang attacks on media outlets have intensified, with U.S. and radio stations targeted for equipment theft, sending a clear message to journalists, quote, you don't operate without our permission. The violence reached a peak on Christmas Eve when gangs shot a journalist covering a hospital reopening, killing 2 and injuring others, including Asperger's. Journalists have been physically threatened by gang members during protests. The growing danger has led some media outlets to operate online after their offices were attacked. Despite government condemnation, the violence and attacks continue, with Haiti ranking as the most dangerous country for journalists in terms of impunity. Many reporters are fleeing the country. Despite the dangers, Haitian journalists persist in documenting the nation's ongoing collapse under gang control, risking their lives to report on the violence. Coming up, death toll from Myanmar earthquake rises to 3,145 as humanitarian efforts intensify. We'll have the details when we come back.
In the sun or in the rain, life's a journey, joy and pain. But NCI's here day and night, always here for you, making it right. Always here for you. With NCI, you've got a friend, always here for you, right here till the very
At National Caribbean Insurance, you are covered and secure. We're your partner, your protector, your peace of mind. So for home, for health, for life, choose NCI because we're always here for you, always.
Always here for you. With NCI, you've got a friend, always here for you, right here till the very end. Always here for you. With NCI, you've got a friend, always here for you, right here till the very end.
In international news, the death toll from Myanmar's 7.7 magnitude earthquake, which struck on March 28th near Mandalay, has risen to 3,145, with over 4,500 injured and 221 still missing. The disaster affected more than 17 million people across 57 townships, with significant damage to infrastructure, including hospitals and health centers. The World Health Organization reported severe damage to medical facilities, exacerbating the challenge of providing urgent care to survivors. International teams, including mobile hospitals from India and Russia, Belarus, are assisting in Mandalay. In addition to the widespread destruction, the earthquake has worsened Myanmar's ongoing humanitarian crisis, with over 3 million displaced and 20 million in need of aid. The military declared a temporary ceasefire to facilitate relief efforts, though reports have continued conflict in some areas have emerged. In Bangkok, the quake has a skyscraper to collapse, killing 22 people and injuring 35. Search efforts for survivors continue, though no additional rescue has ever been reported. In other international news, Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk announced on Wednesday that his party's civic platform was targeted in a cyber attack, potentially linked to foreign interference from Russia or Belarus ahead of the May 18th presidential election. Tusk stated that cyber attack aimed at his party's computer system signals the start of foreign involvement in the election. John Garbick, head of Tusk's office, explained that the attacks targeted the computer civic platform employees and election staff over 12 hours. While Garbick refrained from directly accusing Russia or Belarus, he noted past instances of Belarusian infiltration on behalf of Russian intelligence. The election's frontrunner, is Warshaw, Mayor of Rafala Transnoski of Civic Platform, polling a 35%. If no candidate wins outright, a runoff will occur on June 1st. Up next in sport, government to bring all sporting facilities up to standard to improve sport tourism product, and Cricket West Indies president pays courtesy call on Prime Minister of Grenada. Stay tuned.
In the sun or in the rain, life's a journey, joy and pain. But NCI's here day and night, always here for you, making it right. Always here for you. With NCI, you've got a friend, always here for you, right here till the very
At National Caribbean Insurance, you are covered and secure. We're your partner, your protector, your peace of mind. So for home, for health, for life, choose NCI because we're always here for you, always.
Always here for you. With NCI, you've got a friend, always here for you, right here till the very end. Always here for you. With NCI, you've got a friend, always here for you, right here till the very end.
First up in sport, Minister of Sport, the Honorable Samuel Duggins, says government is to bring sporting facilities in the Federation to improve the nation's sport tourism product. While work is currently being done on the Kim Collins Stadium, Minister Duggins says work will be done on other facilities to ensure they are up to standard for hosting major events.
The issue we've had is that when we don't have a facility that meets standard, when we meet facilities like basketball and track and field in the conditions that we met them, it is our duty and our job to get them into condition so that we can align them with the other facilities to ensure that we can meet the same agenda of sports tourism and monetizing those facilities. So the answer is yes, that is the plan. And that is why we are working so hard to get these facilities up to standard so they could join the ranks of the other sporting endeavors with the same initiative.
Thanks, Kent. In other sports news, President of Cricket West Indies, or CWI, Dr. Kishore Shallow, led a delegation to Grenada for a courtesy call on Prime Minister Honorable Dickon Mitchell. This visit marks President Shallow's first official engagement with Prime Minister Mitchell following his recent unanimous re-election by all shareholder members for a new 3-year term. Dr. Shallow was accompanied by CWI Chief Executive Officer Chris Daring, who has been in the role for 60 days, and Director of Cricket Miles Bascombe. The visit comes ahead of the highly anticipated Test series between West Indies and Australia, set to take place in Grenada from July 3rd to 7th, 2025. The series is expected to draw hundreds of Australian visitors, further boosting cricket's presence in the Caribbean. During the meeting, discussions centered on continued collaboration between CWI and the government of Grenada in developing cricket at all levels. A key highlight of the talks was the agreement to formalize a memorandum of understanding aimed at strengthening cricket infrastructure, grassroots programs, and opportunities for young players in Grenada. When we come back, we'll have another look at the stories that made the headlines.
Yeah, man. Another day in the books. Well, hello there. She pretty from head to toe, and are you ready to go? Wait there. Whew. Can't afford to slip up. Not even in my dreams.
Recapping the top stories. Prime Minister Drew challenges U.S. tariffs, cites $700 million in imports. Prime Minister confirms deportation of St. Kitts and Nevis national from the U.S. And 22 athletes selected to represent St. Kitts and Nevis at 52nd CARIFTA Games. And that brings us to the end of the ZIZ Major Newscast. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Scotty Cia Hendrickson.